The Premier League is back, and today we are going to be predicting the Premier League table. Okay, now last year I done this and I think I only probably got about 2 or 3 right. I put Chelsea to get top 4 above Arsenal, for fuck's sake. So yeah, we got a bit wrong, but this year we're going to try and get as many right as we can. And to be honest with you, I think the one that I've got in mind is accurate. Obviously, this is our second channel, so if you're new around there, if you could drop a like and subscribe and go and sub to the main channel. We're so close to 300 subscribers, and that'll mean the world. We upload more like FIFA content on there, and this channel is just a channel where we just do more sort of RIL content, football content, you name it really, just anything that's not FIFA. So without further ado, let's get straight into the table predictions. So I apologise for all these ads, I can't get them on screen, but it's fine, we'll get on with the table predictor. And as you can see here, lads, we've got all 20 teams here. And you know what? Kicking things off, we're also going to go from relegation to the champions. So kicking things off in 20th, I'm going to go for Southampton. Obviously a newly promoted team. A lot of people saying that Russell Martin's not a good manager. I'm not quite sure if that's true. I'm just going by what some people are saying on other podcasts and on Twitter and stuff like that. Maybe I shouldn't go by Twitter because the app is an absolute mess. But anyway, Southampton, I do firmly believe will come bottom of the table. Obviously, the side, Peterborough's on the Edwards. He looks an absolute. Well, I know he's an unbelievable player. I've watched him live. I watched Peterborough quite a bit last season because I had a season ticket. So I've watched him quite a bit, and if you can get into the team, I tell you what, this bloke is like the next Johnny Stones. He's the next Johnny Stones. He's the next player who can play in the, ball controlled and play in the midfield. Hopefully he does well for Southampton, but I'm not quite sure whether he's going to start or not. I'm not quite sure. I've not really looked at the business that Southampton have done, to be honest with you, but I do think you saw the gap last year between the teams that come up from the Championship. Yes, they done. Through their purple patches, you could say Luton done well over Christmas. Burnley sort of done well towards the end of the season, but then just obviously got relegated, and Sheffield United were just awful from get-go. So I'm going to go for Southampton 20th. In 19th, okay, I'm going to go with Leicester City. Now, I'm not quite sure what's going on with Leicester. I'm pretty sure there's a transfer or point deduction coming their way or something like that. I don't know if that's true. Again, let me know in the comments. Obviously, they lost one of their best midfielders in Kieran Dewsbury Hall. Listen, I would love nothing more than Leicester to say at me. I like Leicester because of Jamie Vardy. Jamie Vardy is one of my favourite players to ever kick a ball who doesn't play for City. So, hopefully, Leicester do say it. But I think with the point deduction and with the Premier League just coming up, it's a big leap. And I'm sorry, any Ipswich fans, but I'm going to put Ipswich to go down in 18th. So that is a relegation. Yes, it's boring. Yes, it's a team that have just come up. But I do know that Ipswich have been quite busy in the transfer window. So it'll be quite interesting to see what they do. I have seen where they've obviously signed Liam Delap. They've signed that Hutchinson, who was there. I think he was on loan last season, but they managed to get him in on a permanent transfer. And, well, here we go. Or today, I was just recording this about an hour ago of Calvin Phillips going. So who knows what's going to go on there. Calvin Phillips could re-energise his career there. I'm not too sure what's going on. But I do think the teams that have just come up are going to be the teams that go down. And then we have the teams who are just scraped relegation. Now I'm going to go over bold on here, and this could be surprising, but I'm actually going to go with Fulham. Honestly, I've been saying quite a bit on stream recently. Fulham have lost their best player. They've lost their best player in Paulinho. He's gone to Bayern. Yes, they've signed, Smith Rowe, who could actually cook up Fulham, to be honest with you. But I don't think Fulham. I mean, they're not going down. They'll still be in the Premier League next year if they get 17th. But what I'm saying, I just don't think Fulham are going to have the team anymore. That Paulinho was a great player. He was a great footballer. And he carried them endless times last season. I want nothing against Fulham, but I do think they're going to come 17th. And then in 16th, a team who I think I've seen a lot of people say to put down is Nottingham Forest. Point deductions and stuff like that. I'm not quite sure if they've cleared the air with the Premier League or what. However, you look at them last year and you think this team, where did they finish last season? Did they just, they literally just scraped surviving the Premier League. I'm not quite sure if they're transfer business or stuff like that, but obviously Nuno Espirito Santo's first full season there, stuff like that. I don't know who Isaka is, but they've lost interest in him. I'm not quite sure what's going on there, but Nottingham Forest, I do think we'll come 16th in the table. And then 15th, I'm actually going to go with, if I can find them, Brentford. Now, I've seen a lot of people say that Brentford are going to struggle this year. However, 15th is underachievement. But you look at that Brentford team, and I'm actually now doubting myself, to be honest with you, because they've signed Carvalho. They've also got Tony back and Burmo back. Visser, if he's still there. They've got players who could actually do quite well for them. But I just look at the other teams in the Premier League, and there's not one team that I don't think they finish above. Do you get what I mean? Like, look at all the teams left. You could say Wolves, but you know what I'm going to do? Because Wolves were going to go above them. I'm actually going to switch them over. I don't think Wolves will go down, but I think Wolves could struggle this season. Now, I don't mind Wolves because obviously my granddad supported Wolves. However, they've lost Pedro Neto. Pedro Neto's a unbelievable player. They've lost Max Kilman. They're losing big players. No, it's just a matter of whether they can replace them. Obviously, they've still got Cunha at this moment in time. They've still got like players like Sarabia. They've still got good players. But can they stay up? That's the question. I'm not too sure. And then moving on to 13th, we've got a few teams left, but the team I'm going to go with is Everton. If it lets me switch. Have I done that right? 20th, 19th, 18th, 17th, 16th, 15th. Yeah, I have. Sorry, I've got a bit confused there. Yeah, Everton, 13th. I don't know. I mean, is that a good season for Everton considering the last sort of 2-3 seasons they've been in the relegation battle? I mean, where did they finish last year? I'm pretty sure they actually, they finished 15th last year. So I've actually made them improve to 13th, which don't bite my hand off, Everton fans, if you're watching. But Sean Dyche, obviously a well-drilled manager, he knows what he's doing. But now we move on to the sort of good bit, the higher mid-table, the 8th to the 12th, and then we get on to the European competitions. And then moving on to 12th, I'm going to go Brighton and Hove Albion. Now, obviously, you look at Brighton, they've overnight, 30 minutes ago of recording this, obviously, you've seen this the next day, you've seen this on the day the Premier League starts with Manchester United versus Fulham. Obviously, they've released clause of Jorginho Rutter, is that how you say his name? 40 million release clause has been triggered apparently, so that could get done soon. But you look at the Brighton sort of players, right? You look at they've got a few quality players. Obviously, João Pedro and Ciso, we know how good he is. The goal he scored against City a few seasons ago. Evan Ferguson. They've got good players, and I look at their team and I think last year, if it wasn't for the injuries, they would have probably gone on and got into the top half. Now, I think they have got that Barco who everyone seems to be raving about, the fullback. So, who knows what's going to happen there, but I've gone for 12th for Brighton. In 11th, I've actually gone for Bournemouth. Now, I had Bournemouth to go down last season. Bournemouth last year, I thought at the start of the season were going to really struggle. But they sort of got to know the manager, gelled together, and we've got a really good team going on at Bournemouth. It's Semenyo, obviously there's Solanke. That's a massive miss. I mean, I don't know if they're going to replace Solanke. If there's any news about Bournemouth. Bournemouth finished 12th last year, so yeah. Obviously Solanke gone to Spurs, which is a massive, massive loss, to be honest, for them. But what you got to look at here for Bournemouth is that, is this season now a big one for their manager? Bournemouth, I actually think, are a team that can stay up in the Premier League. I think there's a lot. Well, the teams that I've put below Bournemouth, I generally think have worse teams. I mean, Wolves have a decent team. I'm not going to lie to you. Like, a lot of people said last year Wolves are going to go down, but no, man. Wolves have got a good team. They've got a good manager, so maybe putting them in 15th is a bit of a poor. You know what? Just thinking of it, I'm going to do that. Mate, I've changed my mind. I'm putting Wolves 13th, Brentford 14th, and Everton 15th. Everton are always in a relegation battle, I swear, man. So I'm going to switch that just last minute, and then we're going to go Brighton 12th, Bournemouth 11th, and then 10th, I'm going to go with the mighty Irons. I'm going to go West Ham United. Obviously, new manager Julian Lopetegui. Kudos. How's he going to be this season? Where did West Ham finish last year? Did they finish 10th? No, they finished 9th last year. Okay. Yeah, I mean, they've signed Max Kilman from Wolves. They've signed Wan-Bissaka. They're signing good little players here. They could get a nice little team going on up here. I saw the other day where Kurt Zuma fell in a medical, which is absolutely mental. Obviously, Paqueta, I'm not quite sure what's going on him anymore. The ban that he could be getting. I don't know if he is banned. He might be banned. But West Ham, I think, are going to come exactly in the middle of the table. Going to come in 10th. And then that leaves us now with the top half. And what I'm going to go with here, I'm going to go with Crystal Palace. So Crystal Palace, that's 12th, 11th, 10th and 9th. I think Crystal Palace are going to have a really good season this year. I think this is the season where Crystal Palace cook. This is the season where Crystal Palace, under their new manager, obviously they've lost Michael Olise, but they've got Eze. They've got good players at Crystal Palace. And last year, they did finish 10th. And considering at the start of the season, they were really, really struggling under Roy Hodgson. They've done well. Keeping Mark Gay, he's a must. Also, they've got the Anderson at the back as well, so that's a really good partnership. But, obviously, Mark Gage in an interview with Sky Sports the other day and saying that his full focus is on Crystal Palace. So it'll be interesting. I've got Mateta as well up front. I'm not quite sure if he's going to be back for the start of the season based on the fact he played in the Olympics the other day. But I do think 9th is a solid season for Crystal Palace. I do think they're going to do well this season. And then moving on to 8th, I'm going to go with Newcastle. Now, with Newcastle, I'm not quite sure what I expect this year. You know, I could change my mind in a minute and put Chelsea 8th and then Newcastle 7th. Genuinely, honestly, I think this year Chelsea are going to struggle hard. And we'll get on to Chelsea in a minute. But that is what I'm going to go. So Brighton 12th, Bournemouth 11th, West Ham 10th, Palace 9th, and Newcastle 8th. I don't think that's bad. And then moving on to the Conference League, I'm going to go with Chelsea. Now, listen here, lads. Listen, I'm sorry, Chelsea fans, if you're watching. But Chelsea are awful. They've got 51 players, I think I saw the other day. Professional players who can play for the football club. 51. Now, that might be a false number. But it wouldn't surprise me if that is actually a true thing. They've signed Neto. Who haven't they signed? Anyone they're interested in. They gave Cole Palmer a 9-year contract till 2033. 2033? Are you off your head? Bruh, that is mental. How old is he going to be? How old is Cole Palmer actually going to be when he's like, you know, in 2023? Like, genuine question. How old is he actually going to be? Cole Palmer, where are you, bruh? Cole Palmer. How old is Cole Palmer now? He's like, what is he, 20, 22, something like that? Any chance I can find his age here? Born on the 6th of May 2000. Yeah, he's 22. So, he's going to be in his 30s when his contract expires at Chelsea. In his 30s. That is mental. I don't know what's going on there. Honestly, I see Chelsea fans rage about their owner of Todd Boehly. I'm not surprised one bit, lads. If he was City's owner, I wouldn't be happy. Honestly, I do not. It just doesn't feel. It feels like he's playing career mode. Like, generally, it wouldn't surprise me if some FFP come out. Like, they're trying to sign João Felix back from Atletico Madrid to fund the Conor Gallagher deal. What is going on there? João Felix, a few years ago, couldn't wait to get out the fucking door at Chelsea and get back to, you know, Spain or Barcelona, wherever he was at Atletico. You know, he couldn't wait to get out of the door. Now he's going back to Chelsea. It just don't seem right to me. It doesn't seem like a full-run club. And to be honest with you, I could actually see Newcastle finishing above Chelsea, but I'm just going to go Chelsea above Newcastle just because I think they've got Chelsea, I think, if they've got players fit and can actually get a decent little team on them, they could do well. Like, Cole Palmer's a great player, obviously. Neto. Is it going to be a decision where Jackson does well? If they can keep Reece James fit, that's a big plus. But Chelsea's a weird one, man. That's why I've gone from out of the Europa League, but Conference League. And then 6th, I'm going to go with Aston Villa. Now, Villa have got all the possibility to flop. And you know what? I've changed my mind so many times into video. I'm actually going to go with that, generally. I've changed my mind. I've actually realised Aston Villa got Champions League football this season. They've lost Douglas Luiz and they've replaced him with Onana. Is it a like for like? I don't think so. And Newcastle, I don't think they've got any they've not got no European football this year because where they finished last season, they finished. They have got conference, but conference for Newcastle, I think they'll be fine with that. Obviously, Tonali's coming back. I have seen today where he's meant to be coming back on the 28th of August. So, yeah, that's not a bad thing for them getting him back. Obviously, they've got Anthony Gordon, Isak. They've got quality players, Newcastle, and they've got a quality head coach, in my opinion, of Eddie Howe. And in the 5th position, I'm going to go with Manchester United. Now, a lot of people have been saying to me how United are back, how United are going to get a good season this season. Now, listen, you signed quality players, United fans, you have. And you've signed really good players. You know that Euro, obviously a young player, obviously he's injured now, which is a big miss for you. You've got De Ligt and you've got that Mazzarri guy. You've got big players coming in at Manchester United, to be honest with you. And you know, I've seen a lot of United fans be happy about how they're run at the moment. Obviously, Bruno Fernandes with a contract extension. Jadon Sancho's back. How is he going to go? It's a weird one at United because I feel like United, if they got a new manager in and had a full reset this season, got a new manager in and signed these players, well, you wouldn't sign them players if you had a new manager because Ten Hag just signs players he's used before. But for Manchester United, you've got quality players, and I do think compared to the last 2 seasons, this is going to be a better season. However, I don't think you're anywhere near the top 4. You're not near the Arsenal, you're not near the Liverpool, you're not near the Cities. I would actually say Spurs to an extent. After watching them last season, I know Spurs obviously fell off at the end of the season, but I do think Spurs have got a quality little go in them. We'll get on the Spurs in just a second because I think they could be a really, really dark horse this season, Cook. But, in my opinion, Manchester United will just miss out on the top 4 and finish 5th. But I think if United fans, honestly, if you're watching this, if you finish 5th and get Europa League, but win the Carabao Cup or the FA Cup, are you taking it as a good season? Or are you not because you didn't get the Champions League? And then moving on to the top 4. Now, I'm going to go rogue here, and this could be a rogue explanation and a rogue saying. But I'm going to go with Liverpool 4th. Now, hear me out here, lads. This club have not signed anyone. They got rejected by that Sociedad Spanish midfielder. Is it Zulamendi or something like that? They got rejected by him a few days ago. They've not signed though, and they're letting players go. Next year, apparently, Virgil van Dijk and Mohamed Salah's contracts are ending. What's going on there? Is Trent going to go to Madrid? Who knows? Like, generally, that club, this could be a massive transition period for Liverpool. And I generally think that if they do poor this year, the players who are ending their contracts or could leave will leave next summer. You know, you're not getting new faces in. The players want to win trophies, lads. They want to win trophies, and they can't win. Well, you're not going to... That Liverpool team is going to keep going on a downward spiral because every player's getting older. Van Dijk's getting older. Salah's getting older. They're not going to be in their prime forever. And arguably last season we did sort of see a little bit of a dip in form. Well, Van Dijk was actually really good towards the end of the season, to be fair. But Salah, I don't think was at his best last year. He had a very good start, and just sort of after sort of the Africa Cup of Nations, didn't he pick up a little injury or something like that, and then just not get back to his best. I'm not slated Salah. I think Salah's one of the best wingers in the league, if not the best winger. But I do think, manager, how's he going to play? Obviously, you've had a really good pre-season, but you need to get new faces in, and you need a number 6. I've seen Liverpool fans on Twitter going apeshit that they're not signing a CDM. Now, I thought we were going apeshit for not signing a Rodri backup, but they're going fucking apeshit for not having a CDM. But anyway, then moving on to the 3rd position, I'm going to go with Spurs. Now, Spurs are cooking. Spurs have got a really good team. Really good team. Great goalkeeper, great fullbacks, great centre-half pairing. Midfield, Bissouma, Sarr. Don't think that's a very, that's a good partnership. And then front 4, Maddison, Son, Kulusevski, Solanke. They're cooking. If they can keep all players fit, they will get Champions League football next season without a doubt. And I do think that they'll probably win a trophy next season, whether it's the Carabao Cup or the FA Cup or whatever. I do think they could win something next year. Obviously, they are in the Europa League. Honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if they go far in that. Genuinely, I do think Spurs have got a very good team next season. And I'm not going to lie to you, lads. I'm not going to lie to you. Actually, don't Man United have you... Actually, just thinking of this, don't Man United have European football this season because they won the FA Cup? I might have been wrong there about United. Don't they have European football because they won the FA Cup and Chelsea missed out? I seem to remember something about that. That's gone well off subject. But I don't think that might be something. Let me know in the comments. But Spurs, I think, are coming 3rd. And then 2nd... Lads, I put on it again. I'm going to go Arsenal. Listen here, bro. We need to have a conversation about Arsenal. If they don't win a trophy this year, I take her out, mate. I take her out. So you can't... It's like the Gareth Southgate situation in England. You can't keep keeping him because he's keeping the players' vibes high. Who gives a shit about fucking vibes? I want my team to win trophies. I ain't an Arsenal fan, but I was like, if I was an Arsenal fan, I would not care about Arteta bringing in a happy environment. Everyone's happy. Yeah, we love our football. Who gives a shit? You're not winning fuck all. You were in pole position in the last 2 seasons to win the Premier League. You bottled it. You seriously need more. You need a Saka replacement. Well, not a Saka replacement. You need a Saka backup. This year, there's more games in the Champions League. Obviously, then City to win the league, by the way. We'll go into that in a minute. Obviously, there's more games this year in the Champions League, this, that, and the other, because I think there's a new format. Saka could play about 65 to 70 games this season. 65 to 70 games is mental. And that's staying fit. Could you... If I was Arteta, and I'm not Arteta, obviously, what they need to do is sign a number 9, move Gabriel Jesus to the wing, and then replace him and Saka every other game or whatever like that. Because Gabriel Jesus, he had a spell at City before he left a few seasons back, where on the wing he cooked. He was cooking. And he scored about 4 goals against... I know it was Watford, but he scored 4 goals against Watford at right wing. He was cooking. And then obviously went to Arsenal and has not been the best one. But they need a number 9. They still need a few players in that team to really go up with City. And then moving on to City, lads, generally, I'm not even just saying this as a City fan, but whilst Pep's here and whilst teams around us aren't strengthening as much as they should be, I can't see anyone beating City to the title. You look at the City team. Ederson in goal. Kyle Walker, Rico Lewis as our right backs. Centre backs are Mint, Akanji, Ruben, Ake, Gavardio, Stonesy, you name it. Left backs Ake, Gavardio, Fairs. And you're moving to the midfield, you've got Rodri. We sign a Rodri replacement. I honestly think we've got what it takes. I know we are still interested in Bruno Guimaraes. We get him over the line. Wow. Top stuff, swinging about like Aguero in 93-20. Midfield, obviously, Kevin De Bruyne, Phil Foden, Bernardo Silva, Jack Grealish can play in there as well. And then the only issue now I've got is, and it's quite sad actually, Oscar Bob has broke his leg, and on this day, there's probably more news coming out when this is out because I'm recording this on the Thursday and we're on Friday. But Oscar Bob's broke his leg, obviously gone to Barcelona now for treatment. Wish him the speedy recovery. And you've got players like Doku, Savio. Now, our wingers, the winger position is up for grabs this year, and players like Jack Grealish, Doku, have got to all step up this year. Everyone's got to step up, really. It's Manchester City. It's one of the best teams in the country, one of the best teams in the world. You've got to step up, and this is a big season for even like Johnny Stones. Johnny Stones isn't fit next season. Like if he has that injury next season, City could offload him. Same with Grealish. It's a massive season for Jack Grealish, and I do hope he does well because I do hope that he can get back to his best. However, I do think City are going to win the league. But I still feel like we need to sign like 2-3 players. We need an attacking mid, we need a Rodri cover, and we need. Actually, it might be just be 2. But I know we are. I saw for British. I said that we are. Oh, we probably need a winger now because Oscar Bob's like his leg and he's out for like the rest of the year, like calendar year. So, yeah. That is what I'm going to say. Southampton 20th, Leicester, Ipswich to go down, Fulham just to miss out on relegation, Nottingham Forest, Everton, Brentford, Wolves, Brighton, Bournemouth, West Ham, Crystal Palace, Aston Villa, Chelsea, Newcastle, Man United in the top 4, Liverpool, Spurs, Arsenal, City. Now, yeah, I think that's quite good actually. That's probably, I feel more confident about that than what I did last year. So let me know yours in the comments down below, and thank you all for watching. If you're new, drop a like and subscribe. I'll see you all in the next one. See you in a bit.